Awesome. So let's dive right in. Lewis, welcome to Kicking Tables. It's a pleasure to have you here to talk about Florence. And of
Thanks for
course,
having me.
Florence hits Kickstarter April 21st, which
Yeah,
should be the same day this video is out. So go check it out now. The link
go
is.
check it out while it's hot off the presses. It's
That's
still
right.
fresh.
That's right. So tell us about Florence, Lewis. Tell us what is this game? What's it all about?
So, Florence is the third and final game in our trilogy of Mediterranean Euros, which started with Grab My Props, Ragusa,
Nice.
by Fabio Lopiano, and then last year we released Venice by
Awesome.
David Turczi and Andrei Novak.
They even have
And
a consistent look and feel to them. Look at
yeah,
that.
your sharp eyes have caught it. Yeah, we got a. Oh, it helps if I actually put the box the right way up.
There we go.
There we go.
Wow, look at that.
So we have a lovely little picturesque trilogy
Oh,
of
that's
Mediterranean
beautiful.
city Euro games that I mean yeah they're linked by so they're different designers but like a similar like look and feel, and they have the core kind of premise of like engine building, worker placement, and lots of player interaction. These are not like multiplayer solitaire Euros. These are like games to bring people together, we think.
So tell us about Florence itself then. How do you play this game? What's it all about?
So Florence is about wooing the Medici on the night of a Grand Carnival during the Renaissance. You run different noble families, and you are going to different parties. You're bragging about your achievements, kind of working your way through polite society to get to the front of the queue so that you can meet the Medici when they arrive. There's these little like 3D carriages that they come in, and it's a kind of mechanically an area control game where because the carriages are moving around, the areas that you want to control are changing over the course of each game.
Okay, awesome. And this is how many players is this game?
So it's from 1 to 5 players.
Okay.
We have a solo mode by David Turtzi and Xavi Bordas. But yeah, like it's 1 to 5 players. Same with Ragusa, same with Venice.
Awesome. Very, very nice.
So, the idea of this. So, why Florence? Why was that the next in line? Was there sort of like a linear path that you guys were going along? And what
So
was it
like
about Florence that was the reason?
So they're all kind of around a similar time. They all take place within about 100 years of each other.
Okay.
But really, like each game, so Ragusa was the first one, and it's something that Fabio came to us with. And we hadn't published a Euro before, but we just played this and we thought this is amazing. People have to have it. So we brought that out, and it was when we realized how much people liked that game and how much people wanted to see kind of more of the same from us that we started thinking, oh, should we do more of these? And that was when David came to me with Venice. And then, like 2 years on from the start of that development, Dean came to us with a game called The Octopus King, which is what this was called during playtesting. But it started off as a game about Florence. It's a city that he's been to a couple times and he's really, really passionate about. But then to get more playtest has made it about these like cute little octopus miniatures,
Hmm.
and he got a lot more people that way. And then when he brought it to us, I said, "Oh, could this be?" I suggested the idea to him. I said, "Oh, could we make it about Florence and put it in the kind of time of the Renaissance?" And he was like, "Oh, funnily enough, that's what it was originally."
Nice.
So it kind of did a full 360 back to its original theme. So really, like while you may look at part of that story and be like, oh, we slapped a theme onto it. It's genuinely like the theme runs through the mechanics in all three of these games. They're all something that came to us just as by chance, really, as like a really well suiting trilogy to go together.
Well, let's talk about that trilogy. Of course, you just showed us the boxes for Ragusa and Venice, and of course, Florence is the third in the trilogy. How do the games differ, and how are they similar? So, for fans of the first two, is this going to be the same kind of game, or is there something different with Venice or with Florence versus Ragusa and Venice?
I think it's fair to say Ragusa and Venice are both at like they're both the most dissimilar games in the series, if that makes sense. Like when
Okay.
we released
Okay.
Venice, we were like, oh, this is kind of a nice like twist on Ragusa, and it's this idea of like worker placement where you are inadvertently helping other people. In Ragusa, that's by reactivating the buildings they've built previously and
Okay.
giving them extra actions off your off turn. And then in Venice, it's a case of you're dropping off assistants at different buildings, and when you drop off an assistant where people have already placed them, you advance them further up the track and give them access to more actions. So that was really what connected the two. And Venice, the twist of Venice was it's set during the time of the Inquisition, and whoever has the most intrigue at the end of the game, which is something you accrue by moving around the canals and moving past other players, will be arrested and blocked from winning. So it was a
Oh.
while Ragusa was like shiny happy people, everyone helping each other out, Venice was very much the like the darker sibling. And then and Florence has landed nicely in the middle, where it's a case of we've done two of these now, and we know the kind of balance of like easy to learn versus like hard to master people want. And it's very much the like, I think as well, like while some people say Ragusa is the least thematic one, I think like Florence is definitely the most. It's everything you do in the game is there's no abstraction. It's not like you're like you have to occasionally do like an upkeep action just to keep the engine moving. It's everything has like an in-world kind of explanation that makes sense, I
Right.
think.
Awesome.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about the solo mode. How does that differ from the regular competitive version?
So in all three games, we have an AI deck where you're playing against a certain character. In Florence, we have tried to, because it's an area control game, and obviously you don't want it to just turn into numbers. You want that spatial element. You want different cues filling up, and to feel like you're really playing against another opponent. The kind of the development of that has been like making sure that the bot is making smart decisions, but is also like just a little bit. We always like to up them a little bit and overpower them a little bit, so that it's like a challenge and something you can go back to. Like with Ragusa, it was very much like a lot of people use it as like a really good way of learning the game when they first get it, and they want to play a couple of rounds to understand the intricacy. But whereas like increasingly with like Venice and Florence, I think Venice is the hardest solo mode. Definitely the one that people keep coming back and be like, how do I do this? How am I meant to beat this guy? It's impossible. But yeah, we wanted to like make it more integrated and more their own kind of challenge, because that's what people were saying they wanted.
That's great. Now, you are actually the publisher of these games, so you're not you didn't actually create them yourself. But how involved was Braincrack Games with the development of these games, and specifically Florence? Have you been there the whole time, or did you get the complete game and say, "Hey, I want to publish this"?
I mean, each one came to us in a like a kind of completed state, like it was like fully playable. It wasn't like just an idea someone had. But as we've continued with the games and we've had more feedback from customers, and we get a better idea of what kind of experience we want to create at the end of it, I've been having a lot more involvement with it. Especially like Venice was the jumping off point where, because David lived at the time in London, so not far from me. I'm in Southampton in the UK, and we would just have these like mad development weekends of like me like sleeping on the floor and then just like getting everyone over and having like a takeaway and playing it over and over and over and over and over again. And it was really like just like a kind of eye-opening for me in a sense, because Andre and David are both like really, really accomplished designers. And then with Florence, this is Dean Morris's second design. He released Pacific Rails Inc. last year.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And we recently brought on Dan May, formerly of Starling Games, who did like Everdell and Black Orchestra and stuff,
Wow.
to kind of help us develop. And he's very much a like theme first developer. So we've been playtesting a lot over the last year to kind of unite those two worlds of theme, but also like balance, like constantly trying to break the game and find the little exploits so that we can narrow down the amount of time someone's going to look at it as like an abstract Euro that they can like exploit. And of course, that's like sometimes part of the fun, and there are like still strategies in there that are like that reward repeat plays.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a long process of kind of finding that happy middle ground, I think.
Nice. Awesome.
So talk to us a little bit about the future plans. Is this the end of the trilogy, or might we see more fun boxes that are going to fit perfectly on your shelf added on later?
So this is the end of the Mediterranean Euro trilogy, and I phrase it that way because this is our involvement in this kind of genre has attracted the attention of other Euro designers, but it's something where we don't want to. But before this, we did so many different kinds of games. We did like tile layers, and we had a war game, and like party games, and all sorts of things. And we really enjoy that variance because we like playing lots of different kinds of games and meeting lots of different kinds of gamers. So yeah, we have more games on the way for people who enjoy this kind of thing. But we want to. I'm always a fan of something being complete and being able to put a pin in it, and not just having that endless like as long as you're buying it, we'll make it kind of thing.
You just have to wait 10 years and then do a prequel trilogy. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 1.
That's right.
There you go.
And suddenly Ragusa is episode 4, and everyone's like, "Hang on, what?"
Right? Yeah. What's going on?
Then they have to buy the first 3. In the series, so you got it built in. Otherwise, their shelves are just look incomplete.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, like genuinely, we like to. We are really happy to kind of call this done and move on to the next thing, and because we like surprising people.
That's fair.
As fun as it has been to like build this community and really hear from people like. People have been able to feed back to us a lot more on what they want and what they expect because we're moving along this line. But yeah, there's so many cool things in the works. Which I really can't wait to share.
Awesome.
All right, so we have a new segment that we've just sort of started called our lightning round to get a chance to get to know you a little bit better. So these are all gaming related questions. Just going to fire through. First thing that comes to the top of your mind. All right.
Okay.
You prepared? Deep breath in.
Go.
All right.
Give it a little shake.
You could let it out. You let it out. You have to hold that breath in. No. All right. Your favorite modern game?
Oh, favorite modern game. I got to look at the shelf. I really love Hall of the Mountain King and Sierra West by John Canton.
Are you going to be backing Fall of the Mountain King?
Maybe. I haven't actually had much of a chance to look into it yet.
That's the prequel. Hey, we just talked about the prequel series, so that's the prequel to Hall of the Mountain King.
It's beautiful and just lovely and colorful, and I love Sunshine Moria. And really nice little mix of mechanics.
All right, legacy games: destroy components or preserve.
We are working on a legacy game at the moment, and my policy is preserve as much as is interesting. If it's something you can sell on or share with other people, I think definitely have a box. But then again, we've enjoyed games where we destroy it as we go along. I don't think
that's a sense of permanence.
Yeah.
All right, dice or cards?
Ooh, cards all the way. Multi-use cards.
All right.
Worker placement or area control?
Worker placement. Just because there's so much more versatility there.
And that's your games.
Yeah.
Competitive or cooperative?
Competitive.
Okay.
Although, I've got a soft spot for co-ops.
Me too.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Nice.
Good choice.
I have to
Good choice. Sci-fi or fantasy?
Oh, sci-fi. Although I've probably watched more fantasy, but by that virtue, enjoy watching sci-fi more because it's more often new.
All right.
True.
All right. Campaign or legacy?
Campaign.
Oh, nice.
I think lots of things are trying to make it legacy just for the sake of it. When it's it's just a campaign that they've put.
That's true. That is true.
They've put changes in.
All right. Well, Lewis, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. But before we let you go, give us the elevator pitch for Florence. Why should people back this game?
back this game if you want at least €1 on your shelf with just luxury kind of components layout. Like, it's a game about being rich in Florence in the Renaissance. So if you want something that, where your biggest problem is what dress to wear or what gift to give to the Medici, then this is for you. Live the fantasy.
Awesome. Awesome. That's a great sell right there. It's the best looking for Euro game on your shelf. But Lewis, thank you so much for joining us today on Kicking Tables. We wish you all the best on your campaign, and we'll have you back on the show when you get that legacy game going. That sounds amazing. Yeah. But thank you so much, and good luck with the campaign.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, guys. Florence is live on Kickstarter right now, so go and have a look at that if it sounds like something you think you'd enjoy. And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, subscribe to Kicking Tables. Link is in the doobly-doo below. Thank you very much.